This is a webinar that's been a long time coming because we get to join forces with the amazing Flipgrid crew and of course the incredible Kathi. So let's kick us off. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about the work that Flipgrid and Wakelet have been doing together. So with George and Anne, who are going to talk a little bit about the new Shorts camera from Flipgrid, which is phenomenal. And then we'll show you how it integrates into Wakelet. And then we'll follow up with some awesome ideas from Kathi and a quick Q&A. So hopefully after this webinar, you'll get a better idea of how to use the Shorts camera in Wakelet and take home some really fantastic ways on how to use it as an educator. And of course, as always, at any point in the webinar, feel free to ask questions, introduce yourselves in the chat box to the right. We'll be answering some of your questions during the session afterwards, so just go crazy with that. So let's jump right in. George, we've probably got a few people joining us today who might be quite new to Flipgrid. So tell us a little bit about the platform and of course the story behind the whole student voice philosophy, because I'm sure plenty of people would love to hear about it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and thank you again, Misbah, for having Anne and I join the broadcast. We're excited to be here, and we really are excited about this whole partnership. But yeah, so I'm George, and I work for Flipgrid along with Anne, who you'll hear from later. And I'm going to try and share my screen real quick, just kind of show you the whole kind of story behind it. So as Flipgrid is a video discussion platform, and if anyone could give me just a quick, hey, yeah, I can see your screen.
We can see it.
Okay, cool. So yeah. Flipgrid itself is a video discussion platform just based on just kind of like the whole discussion. And that's how kind of our founder, Charlie Miller, based it upon is that having that human element, that Socratic seminar. So our big mission at Flipgrid is to empower every learner on the planet to share their voice and respect the diverse voices of others. And together we build a goal entity. And so that's kind of the whole reason or kind of mission behind Flipgrid is really to share your voice, like Misbah said. Like student voice is so important to us, and bringing that back to the student in the back of the classroom to the front of the classroom. So here joined today is me, Gripal George. That's actually what I look like in real life. And there's Dan Cosma. And we're actually part of a larger team called the Flipgrid Engagement Team. And our boss on the very left, you'll see is Joey Tarleson. This is Happy Educator Renee, then Jess Boyce, and then Adam Shorts. Pretty easy to just think about all of them. Adam Shorts, especially just with his name, is wearing shorts for some of the community that knows us already. But we have a really exciting opportunity because our whole job is basically to just engage with the community. And so like the past year in 2018 and 2019, we've been able to just go to schools, kind of hear the great echoes of ideas and things that we could do to improve Flipgrid. But the real mission of Flipgrid is to make a platform that is simple, fast, and fun. And we try to embellish that and kind of carry that out in every single day of our work and just in every avenue that we do, whether it be on Twitter or emails or in person. There's so much great stuff that educated every single day for students who are the next generation. And for us to be able to empower them there's not only it's also have a fulfillment of that's our job every day, but just to be able to see the growth and just the power and change that we can do. So that is like I said, is to empower every voice for all learners. And Flipgrid, we believe kind of empowers that and kind of brings that, elevates that to a new level. And so if Flipgrid, like I said, is a grid, and kind of Anne will maybe go through it a little more, but it's a video discussion platform. So the community is your grid. And then the videos are the discussion. So the lesson plan could be just, what did you do over the weekend? What did you learn today? What would you like to learn? Or just create an avenue between the student and teacher for those shy students that might not raise their hand in class. And it's because from a classroom period, if you have an hour long, you get to hear from every single student. With Flipgrid, you're able to hear from every single student, whether it be a minute to a minute and a half, and gives everyone that voice and be able to get that personalized one-to-one learning. And so there's many ways that you can use Flipgrid. You can do it it was actually designed for higher ed at the university when Charlie Miller created it. But now we see a lot of pre-K, high school, university, enterprise, and just general community, whether it be family building. And there's some ways. But like I said at the very beginning, the main reason that we our mission is kind of reasons like this. This is Megan, and she says, 100%, I have a girl who didn't say a word for the first time in 3 months of school, introduced Flipgrid, and she started talking through a tool. Now she actually raises her hand in the class. Boom. And it's those moments like that to be able to elevate that student that maybe never would have raised their hand or even spoken up, and just giving that Flipgrid to be able to tool or just a general to empower their voice really kind of makes us really happy. And like I said, like we're part of a larger team, the engagement team, but feel free to kind of reach out to us. But before that, like we have like our job as an engagement team is not only to engage with just the community of ours, but to engage the community of everyone else's because we are better together. And I think Ms. was kind of share a story of how Wakelet and Flipgrid met.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a traditional kind of love story, I guess. We as we started to join into the education space and realize how incredible the educator community was, we noticed that we as Wakelet we were sharing a lot of the community with Flipgrid, and plenty of people every time they would tweet, they would talk about how they're smashing Flipgrid and Wakelet together, how they love these two platforms, and it was clear from the start that we had this really awesome shared philosophy when it came to community. So I reached out to Joey Tarrelson, the head of engagement there at Flipgrid, and I was like, look, you know, we have to work together. Like we've been putting this off too long. Everyone wants this to happen. You know, it's kind of like in a soap opera or a TV show, and you've got the guy and the girl, and it's like, come on, does this happen already? So we got together, and immediately from the first call, it was clear that, you know, we shared the same philosophy when it came to community. And just how just how Flipgrid's looking to empower student voice and students across the world to have that voice. Wakelet is trying to do the same, but with the student story. So we know the students and educators across the world, they all have stories to tell. And what we're trying to do, Wakelet, is help them tell those stories better and make it as easy as possible and help them understand that they don't necessarily have to be content creators, but everybody can be a content curator. So those of you in the chat who aren't fully sure what Wakelet is, we're a content curation platform, completely free to use. And we help people take lots of different pieces of content from across the web, regardless of what type of media it is. So we're talking tweets, we're talking videos, YouTube videos, links, all kinds of stuff. And now, of course, Flipgrid videos as well, and put them all into a beautiful looking collection that's very engaging. They can then share that collection with whoever they want. We've got educators using it in some incredible ways, and you know, as everybody here on this call would testify to, the educator community are super innovative. So there's ways that people are using Wakelet people are using Wakelet in ways that we could have never, ever guessed. But our relationship with Flipgrid is really cool because not only do we share a community, we also share that philosophy. So the first integration that we did was literally just being able to take Flipgrid videos and embed them into Wakelet so that they could form part of a collection alongside a bunch of other different resources. And then as our relationship blossomed, we actually met each other for the first time in Bet, and it was really cool to see you guys in real life and interact with the team. And we went for dinner and we made plans. It was such a good time, such a good moment, and amazing memories. And then we've just blossomed from there. And obviously we had the really big announcement at Flipgrid Live. So Flipgrid Live is this amazing event that you guys put on every year. I couldn't believe how incredible it was. It was at ISTE, and I got to be on stage and announce this incredible integration, which is what this webinar is all about. And just seeing the passion and seeing the response from the community, it just makes all of our work worth it. It really does. The reason why I love our relationship is because we work so easily as a team, not only just in development, but also in our engagement teams and our community and that type of thing. But we also love how you innovate as well, how Flipgrid innovates, because we're constantly trying to keep the ball rolling and come up with the amazing new ways that teachers can use Wakelet, and you guys do the same with Flipgrid as well. So I'm going to pass this on to Anne, because when I was at ISTE, I was blown away at the presentation that Charlie did of the new Flipgrid Shorts camera. So if you'd be able to show us a little bit about that and tell us how the new Shorts camera works, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm so excited to share. Thank you for asking us to participate. And just to have my fangirl moment too, it was so awesome meeting the Wakelet team in London. Kathi was there as an educator. Our team was there, but meeting you all in real life was so special. And the continued collaboration beyond that, it just, you know, it's like all the feels, makes everything exciting. Right. I am going to go ahead and make sure I'm getting, open in browser, I'm getting my screen, and then let's make sure, friends, that I have the right screen. Can you tell me if you see my Alex screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Awesome. So So friends, those of you, I know Misbah just said, if you are on the call and you're not familiar with what Wakelet is, like he said, it's a curation tool. If you're on the call and you're not familiar with what Flipgrid is, we are an asynchronous video communication platform. And like George mentioned earlier, Flipgrid is a way that you can provide pathways, creative pathways for students to create content, to share, celebrate, and showcase their learning. And I'm so excited to give you all a walkthrough of the new Shorts camera. This is fully embedded within your educator admin tool. So this is a tool that allows you to create here, but share everywhere. So you'll notice at the top of the screen, along with my activity, my grids, mixtapes, grid pals, the disco library, if you click right into that Shorts tab, it will take you into your creation tool. And you'll see I already have a few in here, some silly faces, of course, from some samples, because I love playing to learn. But if you were to click on that record a short button, what's going to happen is the Flipgrid camera, I know it looks a little bit distorted right now, but that's only because of the platform that we're using. Don't worry, when you're creating, it will be aligned perfectly. You get all of the new Flipgrid camera features embedded right here in Shorts. And this is for educators in their Flipgrid account. And I just wanted to click through a bunch of buttons, show you possibilities for what you could create with. So you'll notice on the screen all kinds of things. Along the right side, all of those little icons, for example, that crystal ball, the first one, you'll notice when you hover over it, it shows you the filters. When you click onto that, you'll see all kinds of options. I'm going to start on one of the coolest ones, the little pixel mode. So when you click on that, it fully pixelates your screen. Think about mystery readers, mystery biographies. If you have students who might be camera shy and want to distort the image, this is a great option for that. But you can click through all of these different filters to add a fun, color gradient overlay. I'm going to choose this one that's super cool only because I think it's super cool. Notice the possibilities for adding a text overlay as well. You have all kinds of color options, and I'm just going to sort of build out. You're wondering why I wrote the word add-in. Let's say I'm creating content to introduce a lesson, a skill, a concept for my students. You could utilize the text feature to introduce vocabulary. I'm choosing a very simple, for example, math problem, teaching students addend plus addend equals sum. And so I might want to include some vocabulary words that I'm teaching that I can come back to and help my students understand. Not only filters, not only text overlay, but if you notice that emoji icon, you have a full emoji spectrum of what you could add into this. Maybe we're going to do a little alien math right here and start adding in pictures to create. And if I'm teaching a lesson or using the Shorts camera to create a lesson, maybe I want to add and support visual thinking patterns or skills with emojis and text. Friends, another feature that blows my mind with the Shorts camera is the drawing tool. So this is live inking with a full color spectrum. If I wanted to identify this is one of my add-ins, I can. Beyond drawing, friends, you could toggle on a whiteboard mode. This is another really cool feature when you think about changing the game and giving students the opportunity to create content, to synthesize their learning. I always think about when you give students the opportunity to create, it challenges them to think more critically, right? But it's engaging students in a fun and a meaningful way. You as the educator are creating here. So that's limitless in terms of what you want to share, whether you're creating something that is a demonstration, a student example, you're introducing a skill or concept, you're introducing yourself as an educator in the community. We've seen folks all over social media utilizing Shorts and all of the really cool new camera features in just countless ways. Yesterday, I saw a tweet where an educator was introducing herself on back to school night, and she had QR codes posted on each table. The parents could take it home as a way to communicate back to her. But if you think about possibilities and you think about creativity, the filters, the text, the stickers, the drawing, the whiteboard, blackboard mode, just provide all kinds of pathways. And friends, I want to take a moment and point out some of the other buttons here in the Shorts camera. Notice you have an upload button. What's really cool, friends, if you choose to, you could upload your own video segments, or check this out. If you wanted to upload a sticker, your own custom sticker, let's say it's the cover of a book. Let's say it's some animal or plant cells that you've drawn on a whiteboard or a piece of paper. Anything you have as a photo file can be uploaded as a custom sticker as well, which I think is super cool. So you're utilizing all of the tools already built in native to the Flipgrid camera, but for educators, it's a really cool way for you to create content. And I want to show you a super epic mic drop sample. Are y'all ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay, check this out. She's on the call here today. She needs no introduction because she's super epic. We call her Kersey from Jersey, but Kathi Krasnowski came up with this thing called Flipmoji Scenes. So she knows I'm sharing this, and she's going to share a little bit more later, but I wanted to pop in and show you a possibility for what creating a Flipmoji scene in your Shorts camera is like. And I'm going to use Natalie's. She's a great friend from France, but she created this Flipmoji scene, a sort of out of this world experience with her own children. You can see she used a filter. She added text. She threw in a ton of those sticker emojis and created this fantastical scene. And when you think about like the limitless possibilities of your imagination, this is a perfect example. Michael Harvey is an educator over in Malaysia, but look at this. He's creating a Flipmoji scene based on a scientist's laboratory. So I love, love, love thinking about just how you can share, celebrate, and showcase limitless possibilities with your educator community. The Shorts camera, literally, we love to say, and my colleague Jornay says, if you can think it, you can Flipgrid it, right? So we have, I'm just trying to come back. Can y'all see me again?
Yeah, we can see you. Yeah. I think you just canceled the share, so we can.
Yeah, I stopped sharing. So Jornay says, if you can think it, you can Flipgrid it. So whether it's an icebreaker or a goal setting, an introduction, my goodness, like an exit ticket, a reflection, anything you as an educator want to create, you have the possibility within that Shorts camera. But the cool thing is, Misbah, I know you're coming right to this, is there's all kinds of possibilities when you're curating content as well. So that was a very quick overview of what all the buttons in Shorts are. But when you come back to it, I always say these things. We're empowering our students to share, celebrate, and showcase learning. But it's not only the students who have that option. You as an educator have all of those possibilities embedded right within your Flipgrid account as well. And so when you think of Shorts, it's your possibility to create here and share everywhere.
And one of the things that I really love about Flipgrid as a concept is just this idea of, like, back when I was in school, I know that there were really few opportunities to kind of express yourself. And I know that, you know, technology's changed that a lot, but I think Flipgrid's done such an amazing job of just taking that concept and making it as accessible as possible, because I was quite an introverted child at school, but I did have like this thing inside me where I wanted to express myself and I wanted to kind of do cool things and have my voice heard. And I think that what the Shorts camera does is just build on top of the amazing stuff that you guys have been doing already, because one of the key sort of residual skills that comes from all of these video assignments is the idea that a child who might not necessarily be used to seeing themselves on camera or hearing the sound of their voice or all of those embarrassing things that we all here on this webinar have kind of got over. But I know for me, the first time that I took a video call on Skype, I was, you know, petrified, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I look terrible, I sound terrible. And you don't. It's literally just uncomfortable because not many people are used to speaking at themselves in a screen or speaking to just a black hole of a camera. So what it does is what's fascinating about it for me is that it just makes that way more accessible and gets that into the mind of a child very, very early and just helps build that confidence. So obviously student voice is a big thing at Flipgrid. It's one of your philosophies, and I love the idea of it. But what I'd like to do, just to break this up a little bit, is share a quick survey that I've done. about what do you think of when you hear student voice. So everybody now who's watching should be able to see a survey screen. And if you just click the multiple choice answers, then you'll be able to, at the end of it, we'll be able to get an idea of what you think of when you hear student voice. So we've got amplifying every voice in the classroom, bringing the back of the room to the front, giving everybody a chance to share their ideas, hearing from even your quietest students, making learning accessible for everybody, and sharing, celebrating, and showcasing learning. So it looks like we've got plenty of votes here already, and it looks like giving everyone a chance to share their ideas is currently the one that's on the top. What do you guys make of that?
So what's funny, Misbah, even though I say share, celebrate, and showcase learning all the time, I actually voted for give everybody a chance to share their ideas. And
right.
Learning is different for everybody. Learning moments click differently for everyone. A set learning does not exist within a box. So I love to celebrate the process of learning and know that you all feel the same. So I think when you give everybody an opportunity to share, we celebrate how unique and how different that is for every person, giving them the chance to share their voice and share their ideas. That's my vote.
Yeah, likewise. George, any thoughts on that? Giving everyone
I love
this. Big winner.
There's no wrong answer in this at all, but I love that giving everyone a chance to share their ideas, because I feel like that can just envelop a lot of it, making it accessible, sharing and celebrating, showcasing. But I just love, because anything that you do will like kind of empower even every learner, whether the learner is one that always talks or doesn't talk. So yeah, I just think it's universal. I think you can't go wrong. So
amazing. Right.
I think it's
it's
a trick question. All of those answers are correct, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, of course, it's a trick question. It's just interesting, I think, to see how where people are geared. And I don't know. I like a bit of competition, and what can you say? I like seeing a clear winner. Right. So the Shorts camera is amazing, and when the opportunity came to bring the power of that camera into Wakelet, it was something that we were really, really excited about. So we announced that at ISTE, and we released it just a few weeks back. And the amazing thing about it is that Wakelet, you've always been able to curate lots of different content inside a Wakelet collection, some of which I went through before. But video, you couldn't do it up until now. You could record a video to YouTube and then copy the link over to Wakelet, but that's kind of a hassle. But the amazing thing now is that all of those incredible features that Anne just showed you in the Shorts camera, they are now completely integrated into Wakelet. So when you are creating a Wakelet collection, you can now record video directly into it. So very, very briefly, I'm going to share my screen just for everybody who doesn't know how to do this yet, and show you how it works super fast. So can everybody see my screen here? Sorry, can I get a yes if you can hear?
Yes,
if you can see it, sorry.
It's working.
Amazing, amazing. So obviously this is my home area in my Wakelet profile. So let's say let's click this selection here. This is a roundup of a webinar that we've done. This was the third webinar that we did, which is a beginner's guide to Wakelet. So what we do, which is now I'm plugging Wakelet because it's a really good opportunity since we're on the webinar and it's getting really meta right now. But this is a collection that I put together on the last Wakelet webinar that we had. And the amazing thing is I'm able to save all of this awesome content so that people who missed the webinar, who couldn't make it in person, they can just go to this collection and find out exactly what resources were shared. They can find a transcript of the chat in case they missed some cool ideas. They've got tweet highlights of everything that was shared online after the webinar. So as you can see, there's a big mix of content. And if I want to add a Shorts video to this mix, I just click on Edit Collection as I would with any other piece of content. Just wait for this to load. Click the plus button, as I'm sure many of you are used to doing. And as you can see, we've got the Flipgrid video button right there, along with everything else. And we are going to be moving that closer to this area as well, just because I think it's cooler if that's where it goes. If you click on this, you can sign into Flipgrid using your Wakelet credentials or your Flipgrid credentials. And as you can see, that opens up the Wakelet, the Flipgrid camera, and boom, there I am. Every little feature that Anne showed you previously, that is integrated into this. I can record a quick video if I wanted to. I'm not going to do it now just because it slows down with the software that we're using for the webinar, but you can record a video up to 3 minutes. Once it's recorded, you save a selfie exactly how it was before, and then you can just save that directly into that Wakelet collection as an item. So I would love to go into how teachers and educators are going to be using this, but there's a reason why we brought Kathi into this webinar, and that is because Kathi's got all the best ideas. Kathi, let's hear some amazing ideas that you have on how this awesome integration can be used in Wakelet together.
Well, hi, everybody. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Kathi Krasnowski. I'm coming to you from New Jersey, and I'm coming to you from a school right now. So I wanted to just start with a little disclaimer. I'm still in school, and the dismissal bell might go off. And if that does, I'm going to hit mute on my microphone to Anne and George, because I've given them the resources as Plan B backup. So if that happens, they're going to roll with it, because that's what we do as educators, right? So I wanted to start with that disclaimer. And then disclaimer number 2 is, I have 10 ideas prepared today to share. Whenever I share Wakelet, it never ends up being the number of ideas that I meant to share, because everybody in the room goes, oh my gosh, well, that made me think of another idea. Wait, I have to talk. I have to share this thing now because I have something to add on to that. And everybody's thinking of their own classroom, their own experience, their own needs, and they just start mentally putting their own spin on it. So I have asked Misbah and George and Anne to jump in live on screen when that happens to them, because it will, and to contribute their ideas. But also in the chat, as you're having these ideas too, please do the same thing, because Misbah, I think this whole chat will be, again, curated in Wakelet, right?
Exactly.
So all your ideas will be there, and they'll land there for others to learn from, which is, again, what we're all about in education, right? All right, so I'm going to kick over the apple cart, and I'm going to be a disruptor right from the beginning, because I heard Anne and George say, oh, you know, Flipgrid, we do all this creation and we want to hear student voice. And I know that because I am a passionate Flipgrid student voice ambassador. And I also heard Misbah say, and we are a curation tool. And I know that because I am a passionate Wakelet ambassador. But I think Wakelet is a creation tool. And that's how I teach people about it now. So yes, you can curate, and that's really an amazing power of Wakelet. But with the things that you've added in, that they've added in, we're now adding photos. We can now add text. You know, we're creating many of the ideas that I'm going to talk about. And when you're adding in video, student created or teacher created video, you're creating, right? So it's more than just curation now. And I think some of these ideas will showcase that. Ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready.
All right, so I didn't plan to screen share today, so I made little signs, you know, kind of old school teachery. And my first idea that I wanted to share was about using Wakelet as a back channel. So when we presented on Wakelet at ISTE, that was one of our first ideas and one of my favorite ideas, because you can open up a Wakelet when you're teaching, or even have a Wakelet collection open at a station in the back of your room. And so as you're teaching, anybody who has access to your Wakelet, because you can share out a guest join link. So when you have anybody join that, or if there's a station set up in the back of your classroom where kids can go afterwards, they can comment on the learning, on the presentation. They can comment, they can add their thoughts, they can add more to what you've already said to make it even richer. So it's a way to receive feedback during and even after a presentation that you do. So opening up that join link and inviting others to contribute is a great way. Now I just want to talk about Flipgrid, Shorts Cam, and Wakelet for just a minute. And you all can, and George, Misbah, if you want to jump in and clarify anything I'm about to say. But I teach elementary school, and for the most part, well, no, for all part, our kids here are under 13 years old, which means there are certain permissions. They can't have their own Wakelet here yet. Look, this missile is going to start. So, but that doesn't matter. We can still have them use the Flipgrid Shorts camera in Wakelet by setting up a station with a computer or even a bank of several computers where we're logged into my Wakelet account and students can go over and use that and they can be contributors. I like the idea of using it as a center or a station where it's open and students know that that's coming to my account ultimately through my acceptable use policy or through whatever your permissions are that you use in your school. Kids are on your account. You're acting in loco parentis. You are the overseer of that content and nothing's going anywhere until it gets by you. So as a teacher, feel safe and secure in using Wakelet in that way where you can have students contribute on your account if they're under 13 and still be using that Flipgrid cam. Make sense? So anyway, for back channel vids, I love it for that. But another thing that goes along with that is exit tickets, right? So we're always trying to come up with cool ways to use exit tickets. I heard Misbah talk about the fact that he was a shy little tyke. I too was a shy little girl. Yeah, I was voted most bashful. I talk about that sometimes. So at the end of class, imagine no matter what grade you teach, but if you were teaching and you had a computer set up near the door, and on the way out, you asked kids, whoever would be willing, to leave some sort of exit ticket advice. Kids who are more comfortable typing can hop on that Wakelet and they can type. And they can say, here's what I learned today. And they can type that. Kids who want to drop a picture in there, let them drop a picture. That's their MO. They like doing that. But kids who are more comfortable just clicking that Shorts cam and leaving you a quick video, you will find kids who do that. And I have a feeling in the beginning that might be 3 or 4 kids, but as other students see, it's not that hard to be brave. It will bring that out and it will amplify those student voices, and it will bring the kids in the back row to the front, as Flipgrid likes to say. So that's idea number 1. Idea number 2, and I love this one. So one of my favorite uses for Wakelet in general is newsletters. I think I put real small in there, fancy schmancy. So with fancy schmancy news segments, and what I'm talking about is I could always create a newsletter in Wakelet, right? So and it's my favorite thing because I put a pretty picture at the top and I can make the sides look so pretty by adding images that I pull in by myself or pull in through the library that provide us with. And I can just make all the different sections and I can report out on that. I really love the idea of having students write sections of those newsletters because they just have ownership of it. But with the Shorts cam, I just love the idea of producing semi-pro real film segments, Hi, this is Kathi tuning in with the sports report from classroom 3B here at Smith Elementary School. When kids can add those video reports right into a newsletter and then that's what's going out to parents, I just think that's just the coolest way to make fancy schmancy news segments right within your newsletter, right? All right, keep the ideas coming. Jump in if you have anything to add.
Yeah, no, I love the newsletter idea. It's incredible. I think that you're just about to jump into subplans, and you know what? I'll leave it until afterwards. Continue, please.
I'm a technology integration specialist, which means I'm a tech coach, for all my teachers. My letters now this year have been in Wakelet, right? So I used to use this other platform that cost me $80 a year, but no more, because now I just use Wakelet to get those out. And guess what? Now they're going to be seeing this face talking video in some of those because I'm starting to find my voice and I'm getting a little bit more okay with being on camera than I used to be, thanks to great people like you. So, okay, so subplans, imagine, oh my gosh, whole next level, subplans extraordinaire. So imagine if you're at home and you're sick and you got that nagging cough or whatever it is you have to be out for the next day. And so you can open up a Wakelet and you literally can type out your plans for the entire day. So all that your substitute has to do is open it up. Used to be type little segments, maybe put in the PDF of the worksheet the kids were going to do, because we can do PDFs in Wakelet, right? Maybe drop in a little video because you want the kids to watch this during third period, and you can drop in all those things. But now you can drop in you, right? Because you can use the power of Flipgrid Shorts Cam, including all those cool things that Anne just showed us, like annotating on a digital whiteboard or a digital blackboard, and you can embed those as part of your instruction. So a Wakelet is, you scroll down a Wakelet, and what do we call that? We scroll down a Wakelet. So your whole day can just go down, 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 down. The sub just follows it. I mean, you can literally be the person on the screen, explain everything to the student. So the substitute just doesn't even have to speak all day, right? They can just play your sub plans all the way down. So much fun.
Right.
All right, ready?
I'm ready. I think I'm gonna jump in.
I'm gonna hop in. If anybody who's watching over in, I'm like pointing at it because it's on my screen. I'm dropping in some of my Wakelet collections just with ideas. You just shit about how anybody wanting to help prepare their class for a day when a substitute or guest teacher is coming in. I'm dropping in one of my Wakelet collections on grid plans. And like my mind is just churning with the possibilities because these platforms just align so perfectly together. So grid plans, check the links that are happening over in the chat window right now.
Yeah, and you know what? There's a really cool guy named Kyle Hamstra who came up with grid plans the first time, and that was just using it just in Flipgrid, to use Flipgrid, a series of videos of yourself. So taking it into Wakelet just allows you to add in some of those other things like the picture, text, PDFs, and whatever. It's just a beautiful marriage. I'm so glad you guys got married. So then next idea. Reading logs, which nobody really likes, but guess what everybody loves? A vlog, right? So it's a video log. I like the idea of, especially for whole class read alouds, I just really like this at elementary level. So, you know, my all-time favorite book is Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rawls. I always do this aloud as a read aloud. And so just what a powerful thing to have a Wakelet in the back where kids can go back and they can vlog about where we are. You know, I try and get through it. Actually, I never stopped in a chat at the end of a chapter. I always stop at some killer tragic point and, you know, like some high point. And that's where we're going to stop for today. And what a cool place to stop. I do that every single time. The kids hate it, but they love it. And then they can hop over to the Wakelet. They can type what they're thinking in text, but they also could leave a video talking about their thoughts or their feelings or their predictions, which they love to do at that point too. So to create a Wakelet that you can share with your students that you have open, where they've got those choices of how they want to share their voice using Flipgrid or using the other tools that are in Wakelet. Yeah, okay. Because nobody likes those just reading have to sign off on, but there's nothing like a vlog. That's super fun, especially if it's a collaborative one like that. All right, so Anne already talked about this a little bit. I just wanted to bring it back for a sec because she showed you Flipmoji scenes, and they are so much fun to decorate your scene with a bunch of emojis and do digital storytelling. That's really what it's about, right? So I had made one that was a jungle scene. I've seen undersea scenes. You've seen the one that Michael Harvey did. That's one of my favorites. It's with the mad scientist kind of a thing. I'm showing this because there's a hashtag at the beginning of it. And those of you who are on Twitter, somebody just reached out to me this morning about this and said, oh, I wanted to do those things with the emojis and the Flipgrid. I said, if you just search hashtag Flipmoji or hashtag Flipmoji Scenes with a space in between, you'll find lots of great examples that other people have done. And it's a pretty epic way to communicate and just have some fun with digital storytelling. And kids love emojis. Oh, and if you have any bashful kids in your class like I was, I kind of like to partially obscure my face with things. So that just helped me a lot too.
I think the addition of emojis and that type of almost like a Snapchat type interface, like it identifies so well with students. Like as soon as they see something that they're familiar with, and if they're using a learning tool that has things like filters and emojis in it, I think that it just keeps them really, really engaged. That's a really nice touch.
Yeah, to bring the kids in and let them tell a story through the use of things like that. Anne wants to jump into.
Well, to go into it, it's authentic to their authentic life. It's a tool that they're used to, and having students use emojis, filters, any kind of text overlay, it is an authentic way to represent their authentic life. And so as an educator in the EDU community and beyond, like aligning it to a learning goal, a meaningful, academic outcome, that's how we can make an authentic connection to the scholars in our classrooms, Yep.
And as this happens, as you're talking, I'm thinking of next idea. If they create that Flipmoji scene in Wakelet, and that sits maybe at the top, take it to the next level and have them become writers, right? So some kids like to avoid the writing because they only like video. This is a way to sort of get them comfortable with using both, right? So they can hide their face as much as or as little as they want to in that video, but to start the writing process and to, put themselves out there and to encourage our reluctant writers to get involved. Announcements might start soon. All right, so here's one too. Wakelet research projects and reports. I'm going to throw it to you for a sec.
Okay, I'm gonna hop on to it because she knew this was gonna happen. So I think this is the beauty of real life, educators' lives. Like, this is the way it goes sometimes. But she's talking about like research reports. I'm gonna pause on that and simply share my transformative moment with Wakelet in my life. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
So I remember when I first started to learn, I was like, what does it mean the humans coming? It's on my shirt. What is this all about? And so hearing from you all just more about the possibilities for curating that content, but the thought and intent and human-like action that goes into it, the meaningful approach to curating things. For me, the switch happened when I was curating Twitter content. And this was a really easy way for me to start when I saw a tweet that either had a great resource and impact, something I wanted to remember or circle back to. I was like, oh my gosh, I can have Wakelet collections about everything. So a significant amount of mine are made up of Twitter like topics, whether it's world languages and Flipgrid, whether it's American Sign Language and Flipgrid, whether it's grid plans and Flipgrid. It's just a really brilliant way to very quickly organize. The structure of a Wakelet collection is beautiful too. You have a few different like layout designs that you could choose, but that was transformative for me in my own personal life when I was like collecting content. So Kathi, I have your blog up on my screen, but I didn't want to take your ideas. So I don't know if the announcements are still going on or if they're done.
They're not done. They'll pop in and out for a little while. So I may just have to do that, you know. But I mean, they're just so, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Such good timing.
Okay, he's going to repeat that, but I'm going to keep going. So for Wakelet research projects and reports, Wakelet is just such,
Thank you.
Wakelet's just such a great place because, okay, it is a curation tool. That's what it started as. That's what I used to describe it as. So if you have a student doing a report, and I'll talk about this one in particular. Let's say we're doing Greek mythology, and I've taught this in 4th grade. So they're doing a report on Greek mythology. First of all, what I like to give students, my favorite use in the elementary school besides newsletters for Wakelet, is to create a collection of teacher-approved resources where kids can go to do their research. Number one, and it's because I've taught things like Greek mythology, where the kids go in and they're trying to find pictures, and at least 50% of what you find when you looked up Greek mythology has nudity. It just does. And then it's a whole different place. So when they're learning about, you know, Thor, with different Greek gods, it's really nice for teachers to be able to create a kid-safe place for the kids to do their research in the first place. But then when the kids are creating Wakelets, whether they're adding to a group one as an elementary student, or if you teach secondary school and you have, or even post-secondary, and you have students or learners or scholars creating research reports on the things that they've learned. I love Wakelet as a presentation tool. So they can put text, they can put their pictures, they can insert videos. Now they can insert their face using Flipgrid Shorts Cam, talking about it. And I especially like that option kind of at the end of an entire Wakelet presentation, to have a student or a scholar of any age level be brave enough to give some sort of a synopsis or a summary with themselves out there. And then they could present right from the Wakelet. And I've done this myself where I use Wakelet and I scroll down, it's my entire presentation tool. I think it's really powerful to use the Flipgrid Shorts Cam in that way, you know, to kind of add it as another element that they can include as part of that. And the next idea I'm going to share kind of goes along the same thing.
So sorry, Kathi, just to clarify as well, because one of the questions that we get asked is, can students use the integration on Wakelet? So can they use the Shorts integration on Wakelet? So currently students can't use the integration on Wakelet. However, students can record their videos on their Flipgrid account, and then the teacher, if they want to add those videos to Wakelet, they can just copy and paste the link as always. But that actual Shorts camera, as you said, if it's supervised in the classroom using the teacher's account, then I think that's okay. But as for students actually logging in, currently it's just for educators. So we had a couple of questions coming about that, so I thought it was a great place to just clarify it.
Thank you. That is a great place to clarify it. This one just kind of goes with the last one. So, you know, you can do your research reports, but one of my favorite things is for how-to or expository reports. I had a student just a couple weeks ago, the first week of school, who wanted to demonstrate to other children how she learned to do knitting or crocheting. I'm one of those. Crocheting, I think it was. Her grandmother had taught her over the summer. She can literally type up everything she wants to, and nobody's really going to get it until she demonstrates it. Now, she could plop a video in there, right? Wakelet lets you pull in any video from YouTube, so she could put some video of some old lady teaching crocheting. But how much more meaningful is it than when it's her on the camera showing her own skills as part of that and how she learned to crochet? You know, in elementary school, I know we do a lot of expository practice, a lot of how-to kinds of things. And I just think Flipgrid Shorts Camp in Wakelet really lends itself to being able to visually demonstrate and explain that, because sometimes typed out directions and even photos just aren't enough.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. Yeah, I think that like there's something really, really powerful about videos that just can't be captured anywhere else. And I think that having one of the ideas that UK was really struck me was the just being able to share resources, but instead of just typing something down and saying, hey, this is for this and this is for this, actually recording a shorts video really, really quickly and being able to use your own voice and your own personality and your own kind of style and flourish to explain what those resources are and just add that context through the power of video as opposed to just kind of using text. So it brings a whole nother level of engagement to your curated collections.
Yeah. The last one also has to do with, this isn't the last because I have like 2 more after this, but biographical reports in the first person. So I'm sharing this one because I had the most remarkable experience, and it happened with Flipgrid, where I went into a 4th grade teacher's classroom 2 years ago who had set up a grid on the battles of the American Revolution. And so don't even ask me to name them all, but they were in different places and they're named after the different places where they were. So I'm not a history major, but what was really cool is the thing that she was asking of the students was to choose whether you were a patriot or a loyalist, and then put yourself in first person in that battle at Concord, let's say. Put yourself in that battle at that time and speak first person how you were feeling. What just happened in your life? What does that mean for your family? You know, how are you feeling about the king? All these kinds of things. And the kids went way further than any of us thought they would. They literally made costumes out of like tissues and construction paper and different things that they could find. And Misbah, they put on British accents. It was the cute. Really got into character. All students are now dismissed, so we'll be done with that.
It's so funny hearing that that in UK schools there's no tannoy system. It's really funny. I think we only started doing it like a couple of years back, but it's like a staple of American schools. We just never had a tannoy system. If there was any kind of announcement to be made, it would be made in the assembly, like in the morning, and then that's it for the rest of the day. But we did have like a horrible alarm that just made you do that. So I think we'd much prefer a tannoy system.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it is definitely something that happens in every school I worked in. But I think they're done now, so I see the buses pulling away. I think we should be good. So the ability to add, oh my gosh, can you imagine a Wakelet? If you did a Wakelet on, I don't know, think of who, the Beatles or whatever, somebody, and you had a biographical report that you had done. Again, in Wakelet, it's a collection. You can curate in there, but you can create in there. So you're pulling in pictures of Thomas Edison. Oh my gosh. You're pulling in pictures of Thomas Edison or whoever your person is, and then you put in YouTube videos maybe, and you can put in your text. But at the bottom, to dress up as that person and to be able to speak in the first person, that's a really hard skill. That's one of the deepest layers of learning you can do. When you take on the persona and really speak as if you're that person, that's a teacher who's expecting a lot from their students. And I think it's a higher level skill, and it's something that would be great to encourage. So using, Wakelet for biographical reports where the children have a chance to add in that video of themselves being the character, I think it's priceless. All right, everybody say, "Aw."
I think it's amazing for like empathy as well, like being able to, you know, help the student put themselves in somebody else's shoes and think about it, and then actually visualize that and articulate it through video. I think that's amazing.
The next, I have two left. So this one is special gifts. I should have saved it for last because this is where you're supposed to say, "Oh," and this is just. So no matter what age teach, I'm picturing elementary just because I've seen it done down here. Have a station in the back of your room, logged in as a teacher so that the students have access to go back to there. And let's say you have a student teacher who has worked in your classroom and it's going to be her last day. So the students can all hop on that Wakelet and add in anything that they want that student teacher to take away as a Wakelet collection. So if they want to put in pictures of themselves, if they want to use their phones or something to take pictures of artwork and things that they've done or collaborative projects that they've done with the help of that student teacher, if they want to write a poem using the text box feature, if they want to use Flipgrid Shorts Cam, then they can leave special video messages. And that's not just for a student teacher. Who else could we use that for?
I think immediately community members, right? Like, yeah, I'm thinking of my own school community where I was in West Fullerton, California. A lot of our younger scholars would go on walking field trips. The fire department was just down the block. There was a local public library, and folks even walked to our local grocery store. And so you could not only create a collection of that the field trip experience, include videos of students saying thank you, reflecting on learning, sharing a takeaway, talking about, you know, meaningful connections between the community and a school community. My goodness, I think of people like sharing for Grandparents' Day, or students inviting people into the learning community, because you are no longer limited to the four walls that surround you, whether it's administrators, my goodness, inviting like your director in, inviting the superintendent, inviting the mayor of your town in. It's limitless.
Right.
And if you had if you had a student who was homesick for some reason for a length of time on homebound instruction, can you imagine if the other kids in the class took the time to do this, chose their preferred communication style, whatever that was, or all of them, and created a really special gift to send to them? Principal's Day, Secretary's Day, School Custodian's Day, you know, we have a holiday for everything, and everybody deserves some Wakelet and Flipgrid love. So I just think it's just an awesome, awesome way to use the tools. And the last one, you can use with students. You can also just use this for yourself, right? So I don't know if you've ever thought of possibly using Wakelet, and especially now the new Shorts camera integration, just to do a little journaling, keeping a diary or blog, whatever you want to call it. I know just a couple examples, you know, so I seem to be perpetually on a weight loss journey. And so to create you can set your collections as private. I can start a Wakelet collection called My Weight Loss Journey that nobody else is ever going to see, and that can be just for me. And so I can track my thoughts, my recipes, my things, my thinking, photos of me, you know, and then me even talking to my future self or my thoughts about the day. So to use it in that way where you can sort of just create your own private blog. I love the fact that we can keep them private and they never have to be shared. To create a class journal, diary, or blog. What about after you come back from a field trip and everybody's going to kind of communicate to that about what their thoughts were, you know, about that? It's a little group journaling kind of a thing that you can do. I just think it's got power in documenting something over a period of time too in that way. So any learning adventure, any personal adventure that you're kind of on where you just want to keep adding to the same collection, I just think there's limitless possibilities, again, for students, for teachers, and just for us personally, using Wakelet for journals, diaries, and blogs.
Can I hop in and say something? I am getting texts on my personal phone from people all over saying, I love Kathi Krasnowski. And my phone, no offense to you, George or Misbah, but I am getting texts about Kathi Krasnowski on my phone saying she's sharing epic ideas. She's incredible. She's amazing. And I just want to say kudos to you for sharing. You always share so generously. And these ideas are transformative for teaching and learning practices because it comes back to empowering students to own their learning, to participate in learning, to be engaged in meaningful learning in different ways. So Kathi, you are a rock star. And I love that you just shared all these like mic drop, epic, mind-blowing ideas for Flipgrid and Wakelet. So kudos to you.
Thank you. You know, I just have to thank you. That's so nice. And I just want to say, I get a lot of my ideas and my inspiration from the communities of both Flipgrid, hashtag Flipgrid Fever and hashtag Wakelet Wave on Twitter, but also on Facebook. So if you're not a Twitter person, Facebook, each of those communities has a group on Facebook that's like really powerful with idea sharing constantly coming in. And with both Flipgrid and Wakelet, it's the same thing. Whenever you hear an idea, you kind of go, oh, that makes me think of, and then you're off and you're thinking of new ways. I think we all do that for each other. So I'm grateful to you guys and to the community for being the inspiration.
Yeah, I think that educators like Kathi are, we rely on them so much. I mean, Kathi in particular, your ideas are just incredible. Like, I think that we are very sort of open and honest that at Wakelet, you know, we don't have an educator on the team. We don't have anybody who has any experience in education, yet we have this incredible community that come up with these ideas. And I know that Kathi, you yourself has been responsible for some of the amazing stuff that we've added to the platform in recent times. That this very integration that we're talking about today, that's come from the ideas of the community. And I just think that, yeah, a huge thank you for joining us today and on the other webinars that we've had, and definitely in the webinars in the future as well, because when it comes to ideas and being able to give practical things that teachers can just learn today and then take into the classroom tomorrow, I think that it's such an incredible talent. So we're really honored to have you with us. So what I wanted to do is take some of Kathi's ideas and then also some of my own and take you through them very, very quickly so that we can do another survey. So I'm going to start this survey now. So let's everybody vote. So the question here is, how will you be using the new Shorts camera in Wakelet? So we've got classroom newsletters. So being able to send a newsletter to parents or to the school community and then record a video directly into that collection, sharing a quick roundup of the news. Meet the teacher introductions. So a lot of teachers are using Wakelet to put these collections together, which are meet the teacher collections. They send those collections across to students who are about to join their class and to parents and the community. And recording a video is a great way to humanize that experience and humanize the teacher and help them kind of show off their personality before the kids join their class. Provide engaging assignment feedback. So this is a really cool one. So any assignments that your students are doing on Wakelet or collaboration and that type of thing, being able to, instead of just leaving a comment or, you know, a tick or a cross or anything like that, actually being able to record a video directly into their collection and say, this is where you went wrong, this is where you need a little bit of help, or this is what you did awesome. Enhancing instructional how-to videos. So being able to take all the resources that you've picked that you want to share with other educators and contextualize them. So instead of just leaving a comment, being able to quickly record a video and say, I love this one in particular because of X, Y, and Z, and then so on and so forth. Share ideas with your learning community. So again, another really neat way of being able to use all of those types of mixed media that we allow on Wakelet, and then also just very quickly record a video to talk about them. And then of course, journals, which Kathi mentioned. So it looks like we've got a nice even spread here. Let's end the voting. So sharing ideas with your learning community seems to be the winner here with 17%. So yeah, that's I think an amazing way of using the Shorts camera in Wakelet. Probably the most easy entry-level way to start doing it. So I know that Kathi has some incredible ideas of how you can use this in your learning communities. But if you're just looking to pick it up and try it, let's say tomorrow very quickly, and you just want to get used to the mechanics of it, I think that being able to just collect those resources and then share your ideas through a Shorts video is amazing. Right, so that unfortunately brings us to the end of our hour, but I have a special treat for everybody attending. And I am gonna actually preview you with something really, really cool that nobody has seen yet. So I have to get everybody who's joining us today to promise to, you can hint at it on social media, but you have to keep this a little bit quiet. So this is really, really big for us. this is something that teachers have been asking for a very, very long time. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I know that the team are going to kill me for doing this. But one of the things that we always wanted to do at Wakelet was make content visual and engaging, right? So we've just added a new layout. So you've got media view, compact view, and grid view. We've now got mood board. And this is a mic drop moment. As soon as you click on it, look at all this. You can now share your content out in probably one of the most visual and engaging ways that we've seen before. Now, I'm not allowed to show you anymore. The reorder is super slick. Some of the ideas that we've been getting from the community on how they're going to be using this new layout are just blowing our minds. So that's coming out really soon. So stay tuned to our social media to get that announcement. So we've got a couple of questions for the Q&A. So the first question that we've got from a community is, what are the humans are coming? What does that mean, right? So you can see it here on the t-shirts that we've got. So the humans are coming, it's one of Wakelet's catchphrases. And essentially what it means is, in this world where there's so much emphasis on AI and algorithms and tech and machine learning and all these types of things, when it comes to telling stories and when it comes to contextualizing, connecting pieces of content together, humans are the absolute best at it. We can tell stories way better than machines can. Although they're really useful when it comes to linking those pieces of information together and telling stories, we hold all the cards. So we're looking to empower humans through curation. So that's where the phrase humans are coming comes from. Another question here, which is a little bit of a technical one, which is, when I record shorts videos into Wakelet, where will they be on my Flipgrid account? So there's a shorts area on Flipgrid, George, right, where they're stored. I think you've got your mic on mute.
Yeah, so like when you have, like as an educator, you have your email login that's in there. And so you go to my.flipgrid.com and then you'll be able to access those videos that you've curated. And it's simply just the same login that you use for your Wakelet, and they'll be all stored there as like a library bank of them.
Right, so the videos aren't actually uploaded to Wakelet, they're uploaded to your Flipgrid account. And then the link is shared to Wakelet. So Wakelet will just display it the same way that it displays a YouTube video. Another question that we're getting is, can students use the integration? So currently, no. Currently, educators can use the integration on Wakelet. So students can use Flipgrid, of course, and they can use the new Shorts camera on Flipgrid. But when it comes to the actual integration, they can't log in and authenticate themselves from Wakelet into Flipgrid yet anyway. So if you wanted to add the student videos to your Wakelet collections, again, like I said previously, you can just copy and paste their responses from your own grid, and they'll be able to appear on Wakelet. So that seems to be most of the questions that we've got there. We've got the humans are coming one. How long can a shorts video be? So currently it's 3 minutes on Wakelet. I guess it's 3 minutes because 3 minutes is long enough to be meaningful, but short enough to be easy to do, right?
Yeah, I'll hop on and do
totally.
something within the Flipgrid ecosystem, an educator can choose anywhere from 15 seconds to 5 minutes. It could be as simple as an elevator pitch to a presentation, but 3 minutes, when you think about it, is a long time. So that's probably likely a very generous amount of time, depending on whatever kind of various use you want to use with Flipgrid within the Wakelet collection. And remember, you can add items to your collection multiple times. I know Anna was asking, is there a limit to how many videos within your collection? No, Misbah, right? I always say to people, when you get to the end or you hit the limit, let us know, because we're looking for it too.
Right. And I think that links in really nicely with the mood board, which I'm not supposed to be talking about, but I just can't help myself. I get into so much trouble for doing this, by the way, but whatever. We've got a really cool audience, so I thought I'd just share it. But yeah, with the mood board view, again, that comes into that a lot. So rather than having to scroll, we found that a lot of teachers and educators were looking for a more non-linear approach to the way that they present content. And also for students, when they're creating their own collections, they want to be able to have like a nice scattered mood board approach as well. So by widening it and using all of that space, it gets rid of all of that scrolling and just makes the content pop, which is really awesome. Was there one more question? I'm trying to think now. I remember. I think somebody in the audience had one, but
I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question. What are we allowed to share on social? Are we allowed to use the phrase mood board? What can we share? I'm excited about this.
I think that I have no authority, right? So I'm just going to say what I feel right now. I think that what we can do is we can like hint at it a little bit. We can just give like a little hint, but not like a full-on kind of reveal, because we've got a lot planned for that. So with regards to how you kind of like talk about this on social, I would say that it's like we just got demoed a really awesome little feature that's coming out really soon. So, but yeah, it's a small touch, but it means so much to the community. And again, it's something that the community have been asking for so long. So I think it's going to add a lot of really, really cool ideas to the mix.
But we can all tweet, I know something you don't know, right?
Right, exactly. It's exclusive, and it's literally just everybody who's in the chat right now can see it, and then maybe people tomorrow if they view this as well. I may have just ruined the entire marketing plan for this for the announcement, but hey, what the heck? It's amazing, and teachers want it, so why not? I love that, Linda. I'm in the mood for Wakelet. I think that's the perfect type of hint that we can give across social media. Right, guys. So any questions that any of you have regarding anything that we've spoken about today, you can reach us on all of our social media. You can find me on misbah@wakelet.com or my Twitter at Misbah Goodell. Does everybody else want to give their details? So if anyone has any questions for us individually, they can reach us really quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Like Misbah said, if you want to reach out anything, we are very responsive on @Flipgrid on Twitter, hello@flipgrid.com if you're email oriented, or my Twitter handle is GridPalGeorge. And do you want to share your handles as well?
Yeah, so like George said, our community hangs out at #FlipgridFever, Flipgrid on all the social. My personal one, I love to be connected. I'm the same across all social at AnnCosma723. So I'd love to get connected with you all.
And Kathi? Oh, Kathy's done us all over here. I can't compete with that, Kathi. I could have just done that. I have a piece of paper and a pen, and I could have just done that and made it cooler, but always outdoing us. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been incredible, and I hope that you've all left today with some amazing ideas, and I hope you understand a little bit more about the integration and what we're trying to do with it. Again, any questions that you have, let us know on social. This whole webinar session, including all the resources that we shared with you, all the how-tos and the questions that were asked, I'll be making a Wakelet collection, and we'll be releasing that tomorrow, so keep your eyes open on social. But until next time, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for our guests as well, George, Anne, and Kathi. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.